The note was waiting on the kitchen table when I got home. I didn't notice the smell of her perfume still lingering in the air, the scent of the last cup of coffee she had sipped, or the faint indentations on the chair where she had been sitting. I only saw the note, a thin scrap of paper, almost fragile, torn at the edges. It was her handwriting, familiar and sharp. "Don't look for me. I need freedom." The words hit like a stone, cold and deliberate. I stared at them for a long time, but I didn't react. No panic, no tears, no wild search for the meaning behind them. Just a steady, calculated calm. Freedom. She wanted freedom. Fine. I had been patient with her for years, walking on the thin line between tolerance and suspicion. She never seemed satisfied, always chasing something I couldn't provide, no matter how hard I tried. But now she had made her move, and I would make mine. It didn't take much for me to set things in motion. Divorce papers were drafted, accounts frozen. My lawyer made a few calls, and within hours, everything was locked down. I had never been a man of impulse, but I was a man of strategy. As I signed the papers, I thought of the endless nights of uncertainty, the hints she had dropped over the years, the long, whispered conversations behind closed doors, the strange looks she gave when her phone buzzed. Always evasive, always distracted. I had known for some time, but the truth came in the form of a quiet voice, barely more than a whisper in my mind. She doesn't want to be here anymore. So I did what I had to do. And then I left. I went on vacation, alone. No grand gestures, no emotional confrontations, just a short trip to a place where I could breathe. I didn't need to find her. I didn't need answers. I had already been given everything I needed. 3 days later, I returned. The office door was open, and the faint rustle of papers filled the air. I stepped inside, and there she was, standing in the lobby of my lawyer's office, her eyes wide, cheeks streaked with tears, as though the world had finally cracked beneath her feet. She didn't expect me to be back. Her gaze met mine before she had the chance to look away. She was still trying to piece together the remnants of a life she had started to discard. "What are you doing here?" I asked, my voice flat, detached. I didn't think you'd really do it," she stammered, her breath catching as she tried to wipe away the tears. "Please, don't do this. We can talk about it." I stood there, unmoving, unfeeling. I already knew the truth. I didn't need to hear her words anymore. "Talk?" I repeated. "About what? You made your choice. You wanted freedom, remember?" She flinched, her fingers trembling as she tried to steady herself. But her emotions, her panic, couldn't disguise the cracks in her composure. For a moment, I felt nothing but silence, the kind that presses against your chest, pushing you into the dark corners of your own thoughts. I had already checked everything. The texts, the calls, the things she thought were hidden. Nothing was. Her affair was more than a momentary lapse. It was a carefully orchestrated betrayal. The man she had been seeing wasn't just some random lover. He was a fixture in her life, a presence I hadn't even seen coming. And yet, I had known all along. I knew the signs. The day I found the receipts, the messages, the strange trips. I didn't confront her. I didn't need to. I just waited. And now she was here, desperate, broken. A woman who had walked away without a second thought, now begging for a chance to explain herself. I handed her the divorce papers, already signed. "Here, you can have your freedom. Just don't expect me to feel sorry for you." She took them, her hands shaking uncontrollably as she glanced down at the cold, impersonal words printed on the page. Her face crumpled, the tears falling harder now, but I didn't flinch. "This isn't fair," she whispered, her voice broken. "No," I said quietly, "it's not. But that's the truth, isn't it? You never thought I'd know. You never thought I'd do this." I paused, letting the weight of the silence settle between us. "You thought I'd just sit back and watch you ruin me." Her eyes widened as she tried to gather herself, but there was no fight left in her,
not now. "I didn't think you'd ever find out," she muttered, almost to herself. Well, I did. My words were final, a calm conclusion to an emotional maelstrom. I could almost see the realization settle into her, like a heavy weight dropping into her chest. Her freedom had cost more than she'd anticipated. I left her standing there, clutching the papers, her face pale and tear-streaked. I didn't need to look back. There was nothing left to say. As I walked down the corridor, the sound of my footstep
Echoed like a quiet reminder of the control I had regained. I had given her everything she wanted, and in return, I had taken back my peace. The silence felt louder now, not the deafening kind that screams in your ears, but the kind that sits inside you and settles, heavy and cold. I had learned that there was no room for pity, only clarity. I had already moved on. The door clicked shut behind me, and the weight lifted.